Hey Smut lovers, Carl from Cheap Smut here. Normally this is where we have a cold open, something light and funny, but we actually have some housekeeping at the top of the show to clear up. One, we wanted to apologize to R.E. Johnson. We did not realize that their pronouns are they, them. We misgendered them several times throughout the show. We did not realize that until after the fact, so we do apologize to R.E. And second, this is a very, very dark romance book. This is by far the darkest book that we've covered on the show so far, and we talk a lot in detail about the very dark things that happen in this book. So please, if you haven't already read the show notes, read the show notes and make sure before diving into the episode that this is something that you are okay with hearing. We had a great time, but we just want to make sure that you understand that this is something that is very, very dark and very outside of our normal wheelhouse, so to speak. So with that, enjoy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cheap Smut. My name is Katie Mizell.
And my name is Carl Mizell.
And this is a podcast that's feeling grumpy, so we're going to get into this quick so that we can all feel better.
The podcast isn't grumpy. I am.
I am too.
Oh, okay.
But it's just because it's been a long day.
Well, it's been a long week.
It has been a very long week.
Yeah. I was out of town for work for the week.
Yep.
And then I got back and our dog's a piece of shit. Still, I don't know what I was expecting.
You're not a piece of shit.
Well, he chewed through some of my equipment that I used to record this show, so he's a piece of shit.
You're a dick.
But whatever. I'm not going to get into it. How are you, honey?
I'm okay. It's a long week.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, you were gone for work, which is fine. It's what you do.
Yeah.
But then it leaves me solo parenting the children and doing all of the pickups and drop offs. So it's a change in routine for me more than anything.
Yep.
And then there was a nationwide shortage of generic Concerta this week. So it was difficult for me to get my meds. So I'm back on them after 4 days off of them. And I forgot to eat all day because it makes you forget to eat. So at like 5, I ate breakfast at like 9:30 this morning. And then at like 5:30, I was like, why am I angry and shaking? Maybe because you need freaking nutrition, woman.
Because you haven't eaten in 8 hours?
Yeah. So I'm better now, having put calories in my body. And now that I'm in front of this microphone and ready to talk about this book, I am automatically feeling so much better.
Yeah. And I am as well. I know that, you know, like the pickup and drop off of the boy child is pretty complicated to begin with, but then you've got to take the daughter, which I don't normally have to do.
The little girl child.
And it was raining, and it's a lot. But listen, this is always the highlight of our week.
Yes.
And also I think we're also being affected by the fact that we're recording a day earlier.
We are, yeah. We're recording on Thursday.
Than we normally would.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird recording on Thursday, but I got to take the kiddos to a Halloween thing tomorrow night, so I'm very excited. I can't wait to see the girl child just as a tiny dinosaur. She loves dinosaurs. She was so excited to find that dino costume.
I can't wait to hear her bopping around.
Oh my God. Oh, it's going to be so cute.
She's so cute.
She's so cute.
Gets it from you.
Oh, thanks.
So what do we have on the agenda? I mean, I know what book we're covering. By the time you hear this, you will have also had access to tomorrow, tomorrow the 27th. But by the time you hear this, it'll already been out for a couple days. Our interview with Gwendolyn Harper is out in the world.
Yeah. I'm really excited to hear that one. Usually you send me them early, but the author interviews I get to hear the same time that the audience gets to hear them. So I'm really excited to hear the author interview.
Yeah.
It was such a good time to talk to her. She's so great. And now we're like actually friends and like texting. And she sent me pictures of her dogs yesterday. So I got to see her dogs. And she's just delightful. And I was so happy to talk to her and it's going to be a great interview. I'm really excited to hear it.
It was a lot. And there were some technical snafus that I was very proud that I was able to, I'd say 95%.
Oh yeah. You were like editing wizard guy.
I cleaned that up. I was very proud of myself. I'm going to reactively, I guess, because by this point you will have already heard it. So go check that out if you haven't already listened to it. But do you have any other announcements in advance of this? Do you have anything else to talk about before the book?
So I guess for this one, we're just going to preface it by saying this as I mentioned on last episode, I got an advanced reader copy of this book. This book is not coming out until October 31st. If you were listening to this podcast on release day, it is October 30th. So I would recommend you go and you pre-order this book. I think it's fantastic. It's not my normal fare, but I am a changed woman. It has changed my mind. It has changed my life, my brain. I loved this book.
You've made multiple TikToks about it.
I have. I've made multiple TikToks about how much I enjoyed this book. It was so goddamn good that I recommend everybody go out and they pre-order this shit, and then they read it, and then they come back and they listen to the episode, or you can listen now and then read it, or whatever. So for this one, we're going to say spoilers, extreme spoilers. I don't want to ruin R.E. Johnson's launch of this book. So I'm covering my bases by saying spoilers. Yeah. Don't listen if you really want to read it.
Well, it's really only spoilers for a day. I mean, because technically every book we technically spoil every book that we cover.
We do. But I do try. Like I try to pick books that have been on the market for a little while.
Yeah.
So that their like dedicated readership has already gone in and read that. But
no, exactly. So yeah, spoilers definitely for the first 24 hours. If you're listening to this on October 30th, if you're listening to this on October 31st, go get it.
Yeah, go get it.
So pre-order if you're listening to it on day of release, just regular old order.
Yeah.
If you're listening
just buy
to it.
I don't know. I forgot to ask RE. Excuse me, if this book is going to be on Kindle Unlimited, but I'm going to assume that it is. So a day of release, you can probably borrow it if you are a KU user as well. But if it hits, I think she only needs a couple more pre-orders to get extra bonus stuff. All her pre-orders are going to get like bonus content too. So yeah.
Love a good pre-order bonus, boys.
BoneCon.
Ooh.
Pre-order BoneCon.
Love some BoneCon. All right. So, we should probably get started because I'm sure the list of content warnings is pretty extensive.
Oh, God, yes.
And what is the name of the book?
This book is called Till Death Do Us Part by R.E. Johnson. It is available for $3.99 to pre-order. I assume it's going to be the same price on release. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And it releases on Halloween Day 2023. It is 209 pages long. And again, it shook me. I am shooketh.
I'm shook.
I have been shook to my core by this book. So we're gonna get into the trigger warnings, and yeah, it's extensive. It is a 2-page trigger warning
It'd be
list.
Easier to list the things that aren't in the book.
Yeah, and I didn't even list everything that was in the trigger warnings in the actual book. I just listed all the stuff that I felt like was most important to mention.
Oh, okay.
But it is an extreme monster horror romance.
All right.
So remember the word extreme for the rest of this, if you would, please. Extreme. So trigger warnings for all the triggers. All of them. All of it. It's all on page. Yeah. It's so graphic violence, graphic sex, graphic sexual violence, graphically violent sex, sexual assault, non-consensual sex, dubious consent, blood and gore, Saw-like torture elements, Bluebeard-inspired wife murderer, religious extremism and religious trauma, murder of religious authorities, patricide, matricide, and an original, I've never heard this before, trigger, magical uterine ablation for the purposes of sterilization.
Wow.
You don't even really know how to respond to that, do you? No.
Tell you what, this ain't Step Brother Summer, is it?
No, this is not Step Brother Summer.
Not pump fake, is it?
Not even close.
Okay.
Not even close.
My loins aren't going to get any more girded.
Yeah.
Let's just
Yep. So this is
get after it.
Like the perfect Halloween horror, like it's the darkest book I've ever read, but if we're closing out Spooky Smuttober with horror, we're doing it right.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, for our sex content, we have extreme monster fucking, BDSM, pain play, knife play, cum, saliva, blood play, tail restraint, tail play, and a super creative monster dick. So,
I'm so glad we're recording a day early, so I'll have more time to type out the content warning.
I know,
in
right?
the show
I
notes.
know. I'm sorry.
Don't
There's
be.
so many.
No. It's, hey, man, I knew what I signed up for. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I know what I signed up for with the show.
Yeah.
I didn't pick this book.
When I was reading the content list, I was like, oh, man, if we were monetized, we would be demonetized.
If we were
for this.
monetized, we wouldn't be for long.
Yeah, but I think we all know that we're never really going to get that well monetized. The show that says fuck this many times, you know.
No.
All right, let's begin our story, shall we? It is presented in 3 parts. Part 1, the past. In 1886, a monster chases a woman through a mansion. When he catches her, he brutally injures her before ripping her throat out and eating her.
You can find us.
Yep.
No. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it starts strong.
Yeah.
I think she even told me, she was like, "Yeah, I just wanted people to know what they were getting into right away."
Well, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Still in the past, 2015. Our FMC, Amelia Sangira, is 23. She's beautiful. She has long, black, wavy hair and large eyes. I pictured her with doll-like eyes, like really big and wide, cupid eyes. She is buttoned up and well-behaved, generally pretty traumatized by her upbringing in a wealthy, hyper-religious home. A wealthy, hyper-religious home.
Full of healthy snacks.
Healthy snacks. Amelia is walking across the campus of San Domingo University, a fictional university. It is a Christian school run by priests and nuns, and perhaps the worst place on the entire planet of Earth. It's awful. It's the worst there. She is armed with a switchblade in her pocket because she's walking at night alone by herself. She knows that the campus is not safe, especially at night, but she is hoping that she can make it back to her dorm without incident. But she is caught by 2 frat boys whom she knows. I mean, it's a pretty small campus. She basically knows everybody. Their names are Sergius and Jasher, who torment her. She tries to walk away from them, but one of them grabs her by her ponytail and pulls her to the ground. She bangs her head on the sidewalk because she's disoriented, and then they force her mouth open using some kind of like BDSM like tool to keep her mouth open, and then they sexually assault her and leave her on the sidewalk. It's very graphic and very, very gross.
Yeah.
And very, very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. She collects herself and looks up to find the resident campus bitch, Harper, has been watching like the whole time. And she's like, help me. And Harper's basically like, yeah, that was bound to happen. Welcome to San Domingo. You deserved it. And then she just walks away and is like, be glad it was just your mouth. What? Gross. The worst. I'm sorry, honey.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
And
honey.
it's just going to be a lot of me going,
It is. It's going to be a lot of that. And it's going to get worse. I'm so sorry.
oh, good.
So she crawls her way up to the faculty building looking for help, where she finds Father Trubiano, the head of the religious studies department. He is a horrible priest, and she hates him. He takes her into his office, and then he bashes her head in and assaults her some more while she's
What
unconscious.
in the entire fuck
I know. I'm sorry.
is
I'm
going
sorry.
on? Don't.
It's about to get better, though. I promise.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's going to get worse, and then it's going to get better. It's like a Pixies song.
But with violence.
But with so much violence and horrible things happening to people.
The joke there is that Pixie songs are quiet and then loud and then quiet.
Mm-hmm.
In case they literally made a documentary about them called
Loud, quiet, loud.
Loud, Quiet, Loud.
Yeah. Except in this case, it's going to be violence in one direction and then violence in another direction and then violence in another direction. Okay. Part 2, the present. The present is 2017 in this world.
Okay.
On Halloween, Amelia is living at home with her parents. She's now 25 years old. She is broken. She is traumatized. She's incredibly angry. No one believed her. No one.
Okay, I was about to ask, did she tell anybody?
Yes.
Okay.
No one believed her.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense.
That totally tracks.
Everybody understands when a woman says no one believed her. She has spent the last 2 years basically drugged into submission in a mental hospital, slowly losing her mind. But she gave up trying to get people to believe her, and they finally let her out. And now she's living back with her parents again.
Now that you've stopped trying to convince us
of course.
of the horrors that you have faced, we will set you free.
Now that you have stopped trying to advocate on behalf of yourself, we will finally let you out of the Grippy Sock Hotel. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah, this book, it's designed to make you angry on purpose, I think.
I've only heard you describe a few pages of it.
Yeah.
And I'm furious.
And you're furious.
So mission accomplished,
Good job, Johnson. Good job. So now that she is out, she is completely disillusioned. She has lost all of her religion. She's a completely different person than she was before this, obviously. No one is surprised by that. She's now heavily tattooed and pierced and scarred from some self-harm. She dresses like a final girl in a late 90s slasher flick. She wears like this really short black miniskirt and combat boots, a ribbed tank, and a denim jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love her. So she is planning to sneak out of her house this evening to go to a concert, but her family's live-in housekeeper comes to tell her that her parents want her downstairs in 30 minutes. So she has to go downstairs. A little while later, I think in the meantime, she like hits her weed pen and like just tries to cope. Fucking yeah. Her mom then comes in. Her mom, Camilla, she never calls her mom. She calls her Camilla. She calls her parents Camilla and Patrick because she has no respect for them as like actual authority figures in her life because fuck them.
I was gonna say, I don't either.
Yeah. Her mom comes in to fetch her. They have an argument. It's pretty clear that her parents don't love her or respect her or even like her, but they're stuck with her. She goes downstairs to find her father, Patrick, and Camilla waiting to inform her that she is being married this evening.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is so...
Yeah. Yeah. To a man that her father has made a match with. Now, she's been sold. I mean, there's no other way to put this. She's been sold in exchange for a large dowry.
I was just going to say, what is this dowry?
Yeah.
There surely is a dowry.
I don't know. Some large amount of money. Because she's a virgin bride. And they are hyper-religious, gross fucks. So they have sold her. They know that she's a virgin because she's been having, like, monthly checks with a doctor to, like, check her hymen. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, God.
So
it's so great when these people finally get what's coming to them.
I would say, so when she was assaulted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when she was assaulted, she was not assaulted vaginally.
Apparently.
And so she's still a virgin in the way that counts.
Yeah. So in the way that only God could truly care about.
God. Okay.
That was sarcasm, by the way.
So this is basically human trafficking. She's been sold.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
She argues, but they tell her it's either this or they send her back to San Domingo's. Like, that's it. She either gets married or she has to go back to the horrible place.
To sex assault you.
To sexual assault university, where they don't believe you ever. So Patrick is incredibly wealthy, well-connected, and upstanding, but he's also a criminal. Like, he works mostly in like gun trafficking and drugs, but he's connected in all the ways that matter. She doesn't have any options here at all. There's a lawyer and a judge on the way. This is just happening tonight. Okay, sure, why not? She is introduced to her new husband. His name is Dominic D'Annunzio. He is handsome, which Amelia immediately hates because she has been trying to shut off like the horny or like sexual part of her being this whole time. He is professorial, so he like wears glasses and a cardigan, and he seems sort of wise. He says that he's 47 years old. He has dark hair, dark eyes, and he's sort of ruddy, tan Italian, I think. They have an instant connection that has Amelia like putting up walls immediately. She's terrified. She doesn't want anything to do with feelings or having feelings, but especially for a man. They flirt during this scene, but the vibe is not like cute and flirty. It's like dark and flirty. It's like dangerous and decadent the whole time. From Domic's perspective, we flip to Domic's perspective. Domic is a monster. He's a literal demon who feeds on the worst of humanity. He eats people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's secretly trying to rescue her and he's going to eat her parents?
Well, no. He has been alive for hundreds of years. He calls himself the demon of death and retribution. However, he doesn't have like a master. There's no indication that there's like that Satan exists in this world at all. He says if there is a hell, it's him. He brings retribution to the worst of humanity. Like that's his whole shtick. And he is here to be married off to her with the intention of then killing her and then killing her parents.
Okay.
But it's not going to go that way for him, not this time. So he meets Amelia. He can feel the instant like draw as well. There's something almost magical about the connection that they have, but he still is like, I can't fucking wait to eat these people. Everybody here is the worst. And he's right. They're the worst.
But what has Amelia done?
Well, okay, so he sort of probes her soul and he finds a well of extreme darkness, but it's not corruption. Like he expected her soul to be as corrupt as her parents were, but it's not. So that's why he's so intrigued by her. He's like, there's something deep and dark in her, but it's not evil. I'm not sure what it is.
Is that Casey Masterpiece? Marmalade?
Marmalade. All dressed.
It's all dressed.
She's got an all dressed soul.
She's got an all dressed soul.
Delicious. Yummy.
Or molasses. I meant molasses.
Molasses.
I didn't mean marmalade.
Oh, it could have been marmalade.
Yeah.
Marmalade's delicious, but it's not like deep and dark. Evil. Yummy. So the marriage is very quick and official. Papers are signed, and then Patrick tells Amelia to go pack a bag because she's not his problem anymore. Goodbye. He's more deferential to Mr. D'Annunzio. That's what he calls Dominic. He's more deferential to him as a rich man who just paid him money to take his daughter away than he is to Amelia. He's basically like, goodbye, good riddance, good luck.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Exactly. Whatever you want from your room, we'll ship it to you. So she goes upstairs. She packs some clothes in a bag, but she looks around. She's like, this isn't really my room. This was never really my room. Like, it's all pink and frilly and stupid. I don't want anything from it. So she goes to leave, but Dominic is standing in her doorway. And she's like, how did you even get in here? You're not supposed to be able to, like, be up here by yourself. But he snuck up. He seduces her. He touches her, talking about how much he wants her. He can tell how much she wants him back. She is terrified. She's got a lot of really messy, complicated feelings around sex. Go figure.
Surprising.
Yeah. So he eventually gets her on the bed. He removes her panties and he eats her out and fingers her to multiple, like, quick orgasms.
Hey, Patrick, I'm gonna go upstairs real quick.
I'll be right back. I just have to tongue fuck your daughter. See you in a few minutes.
I'll be a couple minutes.
Yeah. Don't even worry. No. Don't stand up. It's fine.
No, it's yeah.
What are you going to follow me? Fucking freak. So his tongue can reach way further than any human tongue should be able to reach. And she is like, what is but she's too mid orgasm to really consider it.
Yeah.
When she tells him that she can't take any more, he declares that her body belongs to him and that she will do as he pleases. So we're going to stop and have a conversation about dubious consent now, kids. This kind of shit only works in fiction. If you ever pull this in real life, I hope you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if somebody says, I can't take anymore, we need to stop, you're supposed to step back and say, what do you need?
Unless you have clearly established that this is CNC or consensual non-consent and have established a safe word.
Exactly. Yes. Unless you've had a long conversation about kink.
May I recommend pumpkin?
Pumpkin's a great safe word.
Fluffernutter.
Fluffernutter? I called our dog Himbo Jones a fluffernutter earlier today for like no reason. I was just like, you fucking fluffernutter.
Or poodle.
Poodle. Haberdasher.
Yeah.
Mordor.
Yeah, I thought we weren't going to talk about our sex life on this podcast.
Fuck you. You just broke me. Oh, yeah. How are we going to make jokes about the horrible rape book? Well, we won't make jokes about the rape, but we'll figure it out.
No, we will. We are trained professionals.
Yeah, we are trained professionals. We'll work around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of dubious consent in this book. There's actually never like established explicit consent in this book. And normally I wouldn't read that. I say on the show, we don't read anything unless consent is like explicit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm making an exception for this one because R.E. Johnson asked me to read her book. That's like really all it is. And because I really like where this is going.
Oh, good.
So this is the first time in this scene is the first time that he calls her little doll. He will never call her by her name ever again. He calls her little doll the whole time. That's her endearment. They get her all like straightened up and cleaned up, except he tells her to leave her panties. Like, you're not going to need them. Just leave them here.
Yeah.
And she does.
Let the maid get them.
Yeah. And then they leave and they go to Dominick's house. Dominick drives her home. He lives in a massive mansion in the middle of nowhere. He gives her a skeleton key to get her into any room in the house. It's an actual, like, it has a skeleton on it. It's or like right, just right on the nose with that one. It's a skeleton key, and he tells her that she has access to the whole house except the basement because that's where he likes to go and like do his hobbies or something, and he just doesn't want her to go down there.
It's his demon cave.
Yeah, that's his demon cave. So she is at this point. She's just like this mass of like just fear and horny. That's all she is. She's afraid because she's basically been sold to a man she doesn't know. And, you know, all those years of untreated, unacknowledged PTSD. And she's horny because Dominick does something to her. Like, she just can't understand it. She doesn't know why she feels this way about him, but she does. He's extremely dominant and controlling. He has like an air of sort of cruelty to him that she likes. She is a masochist, though. So she is prepared to be treated like shit and hurt during sex. Like, that's what she wants. So she's down.
Sounds like she's got a match.
Yeah. She secretly loves all of this. She's not really ready to admit it to herself yet, but she wants everything that's coming her way. He carries her up into the bedroom. Using his crazy magic tongue, he's like eating her out the whole time he carries her up the stairs. She's slung over his shoulder, fireman style, and he's using his crazy long demon tongue. And she's like, "How are you doing that?
Please stop."
Yeah,
that's so.
This is actually unsettling.
It's a little weird.
Yeah,
I've never been so conflicted about an orgasm.
He also like opens like the tiniest wound in her thigh to taste her blood for the first time because he eats people. Of course he's going to want to drink her blood. Fucking gross and weird and awesome. And it's a vampire book. Sure, why not? He then gets her up into his bedroom. He pushes her onto her knees for what I can only describe as the brutalest blowjob on the planet. Like, it was so intense. It leaves her completely blissed out. When she's done, she's like, she loved it, but it's incredibly intense. Also, another unique and original bit of stuff that we've never seen in the show before. His cum is black. And it tastes like pomegranate and nightshade. And it smells like graveyard dirt. Your face.
Wow. Wow.
I love it. I love it. I love when I can make you make that face. It's so funny. I just put neat. It tastes like pomegranate and belladonna and smells like graveyard dirt.
Huh.
Neat. 3 exclamation points.
Okay.
Awesome. It's creative. I love it. I love the creative stuff.
No, and that's the reaction that I'm having is something that creative attached to seem like like that is where my brain
it's broke.
Like, again, I've said this many times on the show and I will continue to say it. If you hear me reacting and it sounds like I'm like upset or angry, I am not. I am just floored constantly by the shit that these authors come up with. They are coming up with some of the most fascinating, unique, and original things that I've ever heard. And chances are, like, it's one of those things where it's like I get sad sometimes about when I think about music because I think about all the great songs that have been written that I'll probably never hear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I am so glad that I got to hear you describe that.
Well, you're never. There's never going to be a lack of fascinating and unique if we keep making this show.
No.
You're going to hear so much fascinating, unique shit.
It's going to be hard to top that, though.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. Yeah. I might top it, though, when we start talking about his dick.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't already.
No, I saved that for later. He then, once he's done, he then fingers her until she is made and is a puddle on the ground. Like, she's just done. She passes out and they fall asleep for the evening. In the morning, Amelia wakes up by herself. Her bag is still in the car and the car is not parked in the driveway. So she's like, fuck, he must have gone out for something. She gets dressed in yesterday's clothes and then she takes the skeleton key and starts exploring the house. There are 6 floors. She can only access 5 of them. The 6th floor doesn't open with the skeleton key. So then she decides she's going to just say fuck the rules. She's going to take the key to the basement, where she opens the door into like this like terrifying root cellar kind of space. She goes down the stairs. She finds a room that is like creepy and full of shelves and dusty and old, and she finds a single bulb, she has to pull the chain. It's a horror movie. It's creepy.
I would say it sounds like the Evil Dead 2 basement.
Yeah, it's the Evil Dead 2 basement. And she finds a row of very, very old books. She pulls out a book that is written in a runic language that she can't even begin to decipher, but there is a Latin phrase written in the margins. I'm not going to read this to you because I can't speak Latin and I will fuck it up, but... And
you also don't want to summon a fucking demon.
Yeah, especially this guy. No thank you, Dominic. I don't need your help. She doesn't understand most of the Latin either, but a lifetime of Catholic schooling has helped her get to at least the final line, sacrilegium hominis commedentem. It means unholy eater of man. She knows that much. Okay. Yeah. How great. She then turns around to inspect the rest of the room and she finds the shelves are all lined with jars and they are all labeled with dates and names of women, and bits of their bodies are preserved in these jars. I know. So she freaks out. Yeah. Finally realizing how bad of a situation she is in.
Now?
Oh yeah. Well,
this is the first red flag you've seen.
In this particular situation, I guess.
Yeah.
But she's a little jaded.
Yeah,
so.
That's fair. I forgot who I was dealing with here.
Yeah. Amelia Sangera, you can't shake her that easy. Yeah. Really.
It's going to take jars of lady bits.
Yeah.
Yep. In a locked basement that you accessed with a skeleton key.
Yep.
After a man?
Yeah. Maybe
carried you up the stairs.
Yep.
And was still tonguing your vag.
Yep.
The whole time.
His cum is black and it tastes like pomegranate and nightshade.
It smells like cemetery dirt, but this is where I draw the line.
Yep, I draw the line with Mariah, 1866, and it's like just her liver. And fucking, at least there's no like toes. There's not just like a jar of toes. Because great, I married a monster with a foot fetish. Yeah. Ugh, that would be worse.
If you need a toe though, I can get you a toe. I know a guy.
You
got a toe guy.
Yeah, $12. Get you a toe.
It's Dominic.
Yeah, I know a guy. He's my husband. He'll sell you a toe for $12. 17 for a big toe.
Hey man.
I don't want to know what you want to do with it.
Yeah,
don't tell me
don't,
anything.
Please, it's I'll charge you more if you tell me.
Just Venmo me.
Yeah.
There's just like is
toe
there a toe emoji?
That's why we always set our this is a serious message, actually couched in this joke, which is this is why we always set our Venmo transactions to private.
Oh yes.
And you should, if you haven't done that already, go do that, because every time you Venmo somebody some money and you become friends with somebody on Venmo, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can see $15 girls, mimosas with the girls, or whatever. Like, not there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying.
No, it's fun. I get on Venmo like twice a year. I have to send somebody money like
twice a year.
And every time I get in there, I just start scrolling like who's sending who money for what. And it's usually like, they're half of the tab or like drinks or a manicure or whatever. But I'm just waiting for the day that it just says like Coke money.
Right. Or
this is for that time I blew you or you blew me. Or whoever, somebody blew somebody and somebody else gave them money.
And we just decided that it should be transactional.
Yep, it's a transactional blowjob, and there's just an eggplant emoji.
Yep. Well, I was just gonna say
the 3 drops.
Yeah, imagine the scenario wherein like your friend's like, "Hey, do you want to go out and do this thing?" "No, I don't want to go out and do this thing. I'm busy. I gotta go see my dead grandma." And then you're
just gonna hang out with her for a while.
Yeah, see her dead grandma, and then she sees a couple days later that you had a Venmo transaction, and it's like $20, and like the description is like, "For those awesome drinks we got without that shitty friend of mine that won't leave me alone," and you're like, "Oh God, I feel terrible." Yep. So set your Venmo to private.
$20 for the Marissa's not invited party.
Fuck Marissa. Toes. Lady bits.
Back to it. Okay, back to it.
I was like, quick, remember where you were.
Lady bits in jars. So she freaks out after finding that she's married a man who keeps his dead wife's bits in jars, I guess. And she goes back up to the bedroom and shuts herself inside.
Smart.
So that she can think. She is determined to survive whatever the fuck this is. She talks to herself. She's like, you survived way worse than this. This is going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And then she realizes that this guy is obviously an incredibly violent, dangerous murderer. And she stops and she goes, maybe he can help me with my revenge plans.
You know
what? I think maybe the guy who keeps dead women in jars could help me.
The guy who keeps dead women in jars has a weird tongue and black cum. You don't see that in a lot of LinkedIn profiles.
You don't. It's just his.
It's just
Can you imagine Dominic Denuzio, Demon of Death and Retribution on a LinkedIn?
Yep.
It's just like one of those horrible pictures that they take. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining his LinkedIn profile and it's glorious.
Interests, murder.
Yep. All the like resume-ese language. It's just basically I kill people for food. Yeah. I kill and eat people.
Career history. It's just one job. 1574 to present.
Yep.
Demon of Death and Retribution.
Yeah, I kill and eat people.
Yeah. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life.
And then just like some stuff about like Monat because he got into a pyramid scheme, but just so he could eat the pyramid scheme. Yes.
Oh, look, he completed a LinkedIn course on effective sales techniques.
Oh,
neat.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good for him. Oh, he's certified.
Yeah.
In first aid. Not useful.
You'd have to be.
So, okay. Amelia now has a plan forming. And she's hoping that Dominic can help her with revenge.
I feel like he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flip to Dominic's perspective. From his control room on the 6th floor, he watches Amelia explore the house from the concealed cameras that he has in every room.
Yeah.
He is attracted to her and intrigued by her, but he still expects that she is going to die and be eaten as part of his twisted game.
But he's like, wow, she hasn't pissed herself in fear yet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He's very intrigued by the fact that she seems to be rolling with this pretty well. When she gets back to the bedroom, he talks to her through an intercom system that he has built in. She declares that he's a twisted fuck.
I declare.
I do declare that you are a freak. Fuck. God damn it. She declares that he is a twisted fuck. And also that she can survive anything he throws at her, and she will make it through this, and she will come and find him. Let the games begin.
I think she'll come after she finds him.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Both. So he flips a switch on his like big panel of bad guy switches.
Says right on top and everything.
Yeah, the big panel of bad guy switches by Acme. He flips a switch and the walls of the bedroom start to push in, trash compactor style.
It's not zoned for that.
No, it's really not.
The
I
contractors.
know you didn't get permits.
I was going to say
for this shit.
I was going to ask what contractor in their right mind would sign off on this, and then I realized it doesn't matter. He ate them afterwards.
Yeah, he did. He certainly did. So it's like the trash compactor from Star Wars.
Yep.
Amelia manages to climb up onto the highest piece of furniture that she can find, which is a dresser. She waits until the walls basically push her underneath a vent in the ceiling. She breaks through that vent, injures herself in the process, but she gets through the vent and she climbs up into the ceiling and pulls herself into the air ducts. She crawls through. She finds her switchblade, which is still in her pocket. Hooray. Maybe we'll need that at some point for the murder games. And she steels herself to keep moving through the house. She is determined. She's going to beat the murder house. And she will. I fucking love Amelia. I really do. I'm very proud of her. So she reaches the second room, swings herself down through the vent in that room, and finds herself in a very dark space with nothing but a giant neon sign that says "Till Death." Fucking.
That was just going to be a neon eggplant.
You didn't have to be so extra. But I do imagine the neon eggplant is like blinking, and then there's the 3 drops, and they blink separately, and then every once in a while they blink together.
Yep.
Like the old Arby's hat, but for cum.
I know there's going to be a day where we're going to just get crazy and try to serve eggplant parmesan, and our kids are going to be like, ew, I'm not eating dick. Like it's like the it's just going to be completely like, oh, it's that emoji for dicks. I'm not eating that.
I'm not eating that.
Guys, no, it was an eggplant.
Yeah. First it was a vegetable, then it was a dick.
Yeah.
Now it's still a vegetable.
So, till death.
Till death, yes. Domik, who can move through the shadows and darkness of any room, like he can just sort of fly through there magically, comes down for a minute just to torment her. He like trips her. He pulls her down to the ground. He messes with her. He talks to her. He tries to scare her.
Don't play with your food.
Right? That's part of the thing for him. He just really enjoys the whole process of being a serial killer. Good for you, I guess. You're in the right profession. She tells him that the only place that she is going is to find him. Like, she is, fuck you, I'm gonna find you, dude. This is the first time that she calls him Monster Man in this scene, and that is his endearment. She will never call him Domik again. She calls him Monster Man for the rest of this book. And that's only a little disturbing because it's what my mom calls our son.
Yeah.
She calls him Monster Man, and that's adorable for him, but now it's weird for me.
It's like the whole like daddy thing. Like,
yeah.
You just kind of have to look past it.
Yeah, you just have to sort of, So Domik's shadow essence then returns to the control room where he flips another switch on his big board of bad guy switches.
Africanized bees. Click.
He turns on industrial fans and sprinklers in this room, and he watches her, now drenched and shivering because the water is incredibly cold, try to figure out how to get out of the room. He gets so horny watching this sequence that he starts to jack it. But it's not enough to jack it in his human form, so he's going to transform into Monster Domik now.
Oh, boy. It's better when I'm a monster.
Yeah. It's better when his real dick is involved, I guess.
Okay.
So he is a giant, shadowy gray gargoyle kind of creature. He's got big, leathery wings and like a long tail with like that little flap on the end of it.
Yep.
It's shaped like a heart.
Okay.
Isn't that cute?
Yep.
He's got a little heart-shaped flap at the end of his tail. He's a murder monster.
I was going to say that's the only cute thing about him.
Yeah, right. He has claws, he has horns, the whole nine, and big fangs, the whole 9 yards. He jacks his fancy, oh so very creative, oh so fancy dick while he watches her. We're not going to talk about the dick yet, but it is fancy and creative. His tail is also fully prehensile, so he usually jacks it with his tail.
Well,
Keep your hands free.
I was gonna say I laugh, but I would probably. Do the same
you
thing.
totally would.
Yeah.
You totally would. So back in the room, Amelia finds 2 bodies of previous brides. One is pinned to the wall with rebar through her wrists and ankles, and one is still in her wedding gown in a body bag on a table, on a like a autopsy table. Thank you, brain, for working and thinking of words.
You know, she just wanted to make sure she wore it more than once.
So she wore it
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So she gets underneath the autopsy table and then she drags the bodied bag under there with her. She strips the poor bride, strips herself, puts on the dress because the dress is dry, and then she climbs into the body bag and zips herself into it so that she can be protected from the water and the wind. And then she sort of falls asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she gets really warm really fast and she just passes out from the shock, basically. Dominic then takes this opportunity to invade her dreams with his horny ass. He teases her, he touches her, he turns her on, he fucks her mouth, he slaps her pussy with his tail. And her butt. Like, he spanks her. And eventually she gets so horny that she actually wakes up, and then she like startles awake and like hits her head on the table. Poor woman.
Clang. Immediately not horny.
And this is the point where she realizes that Dominic is not just a serial killer. Like, he's obviously not just a serial killer.
Just now.
But he won't tell her all of this quite yet. But she's catching on.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah. She searches the room for a switch or a lever, anything to turn off the water. He turned off the water as like just a kindness, I guess, but to turn off the fan. She finds a mechanism, but it is behind the body that is pinned to the wall, and she can't reach it. Luckily, Dominic has left a bone saw here for her, and she saws her way through the torso of this body until it breaks off so that she can flip the switch.
Who's ready?
Huh?
Bone saw's ready.
Bone saw is ready. Fuck yes. God, yes. Bone saw is ready. God, I love that. So now she can move on. She is covered in blood and bruises, and she's injured and she's exhausted, but
still totally turned on.
Still totally turned on, and it's time to continue. So from his vantage point in his creepy room, Dominic continues to stroke himself with his tail while he watches her go. From here on out, I've put this in parentheticals, and it is completely serious with very little exception. If someone isn't committing an act of violence, they are doing something horny, or both, for the rest of the book. Is it horny? No. Then it's violent. Is it violent? No. Then it's horny. There you go. For the rest of the book. In the next room, Amelia walks into a sharp wire which cuts her dress. So she is forced to tear the dress. So now she's wearing a mini wedding dress. This room is strung with nearly invisible garrote wire and sharpened metal sheets. She has to transverse this room like Catherine Zeta-Jones to get through it. Dominic watches her, continues to jack it, and finally he comes imagining fucking her pussy for the first time. Blah, 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 blah. He draws his own blood, creating a rune and doing some kind of spell to bind Amelia to him in darkness. He has finally met his match. She is the one.
She has handled everything I've thrown at her in my murder house.
Yes.
I must have her.
Yes, absolutely. They are meant to be together. He goes down to that room. He speaks to her in her mind.
Because the intercom is broken.
Yeah. There's a lot of degradation. There's a lot of threats. But there's also a lot of praise in all of his mind talking until he can feel the black rage of lust flowing through her veins. He makes himself visible, but he's wearing a skull mask because he doesn't want her to see his real face yet, but he is fully like gargoyled out. So he's like, look at me, I'm a monster. And she takes
don't look at my face.
Yeah, right? He has her open her mouth and he kisses her with his own blood in his mouth, and then he deliberately cuts her neck on a wire to drink her blood before leaving her again. This Sounds violent, was horny.
Yeah.
Sounds violent, was horny. Continue for the rest of the book.
It's like when a song has happy music but sad lyrics, or vice versa.
Exactly. At the end of this sequence, she has survived the Blade Hall. Good job, Amelia. She goes down into the hallway beyond the door and finds a set of stairs leading down. She's lost her skeleton key, so she has to pick the lock. And when she gets inside, she finds a dirt floor holding cell with another bride inside. And she is surprised to find that it is Harper, the queen bitch of San Domingo, is in Domic's basement. At some point, Domic married her too, and he's just been keeping her in the basement. And she's ready to scrap. Like, this is the next challenge. She has to fight Harper. And she's like, all right, let's fucking go. She stretches it all out. She gets all ready. She realizes that Harper's still like this holier than thou bitch. All of this, like, ending up.
None of this has changed her one bit.
None of this has changed her at all. Exactly. Ending up in a serial killer's basement dungeon.
And you would think.
Has not changed the soul of Harper Ellison.
Maybe I should change my ways.
Nope. I'm armed with a human femur, and it's time to fight.
Cunt till I die. Let's go.
They have an incredibly violent and frenzied fight, but Amelia has the upper hand because she has learned something very important at her time in the psych ward, and that is that angry, mentally unstable people fight like shit.
Yeah. And Domic's over there jacking it.
And nobody is keeping her from getting to the monster man. So she's gonna fight to the death. Eventually the fight ends with Amelia gutting Harper. She just slices her belly open and kills her. And as she is dying, she tells her that she should have helped her. Then maybe she would have been met with some compassion. But instead she's gonna die the bitch she was.
Yeah.
Yep. She feels nothing about it though. She doesn't care. Like, she doesn't feel any remorse for taking a human life. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Good job. Amelia is then released from the basement. She makes her way up to the main level, but there's no more traps. There's nothing else for her. So she's just shouting into the house because she knows that Domic can hear her. She's like, yeah, okay, well, fine. I'm going to go take a shower now because I'm disgusting and covered in everything.
Can I get a bathrobe?
Yeah. So she takes her shower. She has to put her bloody dress back on because she doesn't have any other clothes, but she climbs the stairs. He torments her all the way up the stairs, grabbing her ankles, trying to pull her down, scratching her, tasting her blood. And again, she's masochistic. She's got this lust for pain thing, so she's loving this. This is foreplay. This is foreplay for Amelia at this point.
If the dog gets under my feet, I get mad.
And she's just like, yeah, daddy, pull me down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Absolutely. He materializes. When she gets to the top of the stairs, he hands her the skeleton key, and he tells her that she needs to be sure because if she comes through this door, her life will never be the same. She turns around, switchbladed hand, and stabs him in the chest. She's like, this was always going to be mine. You just didn't know it yet. Fuck yes. God damn it. I love her. In the control room, she finds Harper's body in a ritual circle. Domic commands her to prepare the body according to this book that he has. So she carves runes into Harper's flesh. She lights candles. She does some chanting. The magic swells, and then he eats Harper's corpse. Just chows down.
Right.
Eats Harper's corpse, declaring that if anyone or anything ever dares to touch Amelia again, he will devour them. She takes part in the ritual. She licks Harper's blood off of her fingers and stuff.
Nope.
He can sense her bloodlust, so...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got eyes.
Yeah, right. She asks to see his true face, so he reveals himself. He is inhuman, but also somehow still handsome, as monsters sometimes are in these books. He has completely black eyes, no pupil, no iris, completely black, an inverted cross between his brows, pointed ears lined with piercings, and a double set of fangs and big horns coming out of the top of his head. And let the fucking begin. Let it begin and let it never stop.
Unleash the fucking.
Unleash the fucking. So they get themselves naked. They're both bloody from their efforts from the ritual, but that doesn't matter.
Slide Harper's viscera out of the way.
Yeah. He pulls her up over him. He puts both his tongue and his tail in her pussy at various times. He uses his talons to cut her to increase her pleasure. Again, masochism and sadism. Yeah. keeping with the theme of dubious consent, like when he actually lines up his cock to fuck her for the first time, she's like, I don't know about that, Chief. And he's like, you'll take it and you'll like it. Pfft, right down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Goddamn. You got me toeing the line with this one, Johnson. There's a lot of Doug Con in here. There's a lot.
Johnson.
I would have accepted just one. Yes, fuck me. Just one. But no. Okay.
Is that what she's about?
But what he says, you'll take it and you'll like it like a depraved little whore. And indeed she does. She does.
No, hey, man, you shoot your shot.
So now we're going to have a chat about Domic's penis.
Oh, great.
So it is cartoonishly large, once again. 2-hand circumference.
Yeah.
It is. I had to message Johnson about this just to for her to explain it to me because I didn't understand it. It's sort of prehensile. He can twist it into like a corkscrew shape at will. He just corkscrews his dick. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who among us can't?
Right. It has a large knot at the base of it that glows bright red and is hot to the touch, like the fires of hell at the base of his dick. And it vibrates. And when it vibrates, it rattles like a rattlesnake tail. Several times in the book, it is called his rattlesnake cock. It's basically a giant snake.
Yeah.
That can fuck you. There you go. That's Domic's dick. And it is the most creative dick I have read.
Would be disappointed if it were anything other than that.
Exactly. So this sex scene and all the sex scenes in this book can only be described with words like extreme, depraved, unnatural,
life-threatening,
wicked, unholy. Life-threatening is a good one, but that's not in a judgmental way. I'm not saying that.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying that it's bad.
No,
it's not bad. It's just like it's really intense. It's like I can only imagine the things in this book happening in Japanese animation styles.
Oh,
because
there's some major like Junji Ito vibes.
There's like. Yeah.
If Junji Ito
if Junji Ito made hentai, it would be this book. Okay, so he fucks her from beneath her, but he's obviously still in control. So the tongue and tail are doing whatever they want. His tongue is fully prehensile and like super long. He can use it from basically anywhere. She comes and then she comes again and again and again and again. And then eventually she starts to flag. And then he feeds her his blood to get her strength back up. Like his blood has magical properties. They continue until he is fully inside her, not and all. And his tongue is like all the way down her throat. She's like completely stuffed from both ends.
Woof.
Again, only ever imagined this in Japanese stylings because it's hentai to the extreme. He tells her to scream for him, to scream that she belongs with him for always. And she screams that she belongs to him. Mm-hmm. She is into this. When he comes, he bites her throat and drinks her blood directly from the source. And then he roars so loud that it shakes the house. When they're done, he cauterizes her neck with his hellfire and has branded her with 4 little pinpricks on her neck. That is his mark. She is his forever now. Begin part 3.
That's easier than a ring, I guess.
It is easier than a
you
ring.
You have
for
to
sure.
like sneak around and figure like how do I find out her ring size without her guessing?
Don't need to. I'll just bite her neck.
Just bite her neck and burn it.
Yep. The next morning, Amelia wakes up still covered in gore and cum. And snuggled into like a big pile of blankets in the ritual room. He never moved her. She's expecting to be sore and covered in injuries, but she is almost entirely fine and still incredibly horny. And Domic pops out of nowhere.
Good morning.
Good morning. To tell her that because she drank his blood, she absorbed his essence, and then he came in her, and then she absorbed even more. So now she's not fully human anymore.
Yeah, you might also want to get some demon plan B.
And the blood has given her like healing properties, basically. She asks what he is, and he's like, I am the night. You know, I am darkness. I am the boogeyman. I am hell on earth. I am retribution.
I can just imagine him going on and on. She's like,
yeah, I got it. You own a thesaurus. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
He says, there is a light, a holy presence in the universe, and he is a pompous twat. That's what he has to say about God. That's as far as we go with regard to religion in any way. Like whether we're clarifying whether any of it's real.
Yeah.
That's it. If there's a God, he's a twat. It's probably true anyway.
God's up there going, you. He's
Um,
always saying that.
they have sex again. He eats it from the back. And he eats ass.
Oh, well, with a tongue like that.
Yeah, right? She jacks him off until he comes all over her. She asks if he is still hungry, and he says, always. She says, good, because she knows where he can get a bite to eat. He shows her around the mansion. It's a very, very cute scene. There's not a lot of like cuteness, but when it comes, it's both jarring and adorable at the same time. She like jumps on his back in human form. He puts himself back into human form. She jumps on his back and just rides him piggyback around the house. It's so cute. He takes her
on Luke.
like Yoda on Luke. He takes her to his really like gross kitchen. He doesn't need a kitchen because he doesn't eat food, so his kitchen is like creepy. But she finds like a box of Kraft mac and cheese, and she eats something. She hasn't eaten anything in like over 24 hours at this point.
I think it'd be funny if she went in and tried to like start finding stuff, but it's basically like, oh, I just had IKEA install this, including all the fake food.
Oh, all the fake food. Just an empty box of like off-brand Cheetos or something, or Cheerios.
It's all in Swedish.
In Swedish.
So there's like weird symbols over the O.
50 bags of frozen meatballs in the freezer.
Yeah, lingonberry jam.
Lingonberry jam. Yummy. So while she's eating, she tells him the story of what happened at San Domingo, and she tells him that she wants to start her revenge tour with her parents. No problem. That's what he was going to do anyway. So fine, let's do that. At
Great
her parents'
minds.
Yes. At her parents' house, Amelia, first she quietly gathers and then dismisses the household staff. They argue a little bit, and she's like, no, leave or die, basically.
Yeah.
She goes to the dining room to confront her parents, and she begins by smashing a crystal decanter over her mother's head.
Great.
Yes. And then they run, and she walks Dominic through the house, explaining how she knows where she's going to find them, because she's watched a lot of horror movies, and humans are both boring and dumb, so they're going to make the same choices.
It's true.
They find her mom in her big ass walk-in closet. She attacks her mother and eventually gets her on the ground, and Camilla's screaming that she never wanted her and she never loved her and they should have sold her to those sex traffickers years ago, or whatever the fuck crazy fucking thing she says. And Amelia stabs her in the neck and kills her.
All right.
And then Dominic uses his magic to like make her corpse go to his like body larder or whatever it is. I don't know. He has like a place where he keeps his food.
I just love it's my second favorite way to get rid of a body. My first favorite is in Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, where you can knock out enemy soldiers, and then you can hook a little balloon to them, and then an airplane will come through and just scoop them up, and they'll just fly away, and you can take them back to your base and then recruit them into your team.
Oh, yeah? Or you could just magic them away to your people larder.
Yeah.
I was going to say pigs.
Just feed him to a pig.
Just feed him to a pig. They'll eat anything.
That's actually
including teeth.
That's actually third.
Oh yeah, okay. So Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain, airplane whoosh.
Whoosh. Yep.
Have your demon husband whoosh them away, or feed them to a pig.
Or pigs.
Yeah. Fantastic.
There you go.
Fantastic. So Patrick is up next. They corner him in Amelia's bedroom while he's trying to escape through her window, but she's like, Dad, don't you remember you nailed that shot because I kept sneaking out? There's no way to escape.
Big dumb idiot.
You big dumb idiot. She tortures him by, gird yourself, my love.
Oh, no.
By cutting his Achilles tendons.
No.
Yeah. While making him confess all of his crimes against her, including the fact that he knew she was telling the truth about the assaults on campus, but he just wanted her to shut up about it. So he put her in a hospital and made them drug her until she stopped talking.
Yeah, no, I believed you. I just didn't want to hear about it.
Exactly. He was like, you were a virgin in the way that mattered and you needed to shut up about it.
Yeah.
So then she kills him.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah,
Change
blah, blah.
the record.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to the psych ward.
She kills him by having Dominic rip his still beating heart out of his chest.
Metal as fuck.
And then eating it.
In front of him.
Yep. Then they do what they will continue to do after every killing they do from now on. They're going to fuck basically on top of the corpse. Right next to the corpse.
Most awkward threesome.
Swear to God.
It's looking at me.
So awkward.
It's looking at me. You turn his head.
That's your dad. Like he might have been the worst, but I just don't want him to look at me.
Can you like close his eyelids or something? Put a towel over his head.
Yeah. So then they have this like just gloriously depraved sex. Dominic fucks her with one of his horns.
No.
Apparently he has very, very sensitive horns, and he has always wanted to do that. So now
I just never found anybody I
600
trusted.
Years.
I never found anybody I trusted to fuck my horn.
Yep. There's then double vaginal penetration with both tongue and cock. And I'm pretty sure his tail is in her butt.
Where the fuck is there room for a tongue?
I don't even know, honestly.
With his comical, it's one of those big 64-ounce plastic cups that high-low drivers always seem to have. They take him to Speedway, fill it with ice and
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. And that's what they're fueled on.
Yep.
That's his dick.
Yeah.
There's no room. And there's a knot.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is this tongue?
I don't even know, my guy. I don't know. But she has to drink his blood pretty much continuously throughout all of this so that she doesn't just get ripped in half and die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like waking up during anesthesia. Like, hit me again, doc. I need more blood. I can feel that.
Yeah. So they fuck. In this scene, she calls them two monsters fucking into oblivion. And you know what? Yeah.
She's not wrong.
Perfect. When they're done, they are completely, again, covered in gore and cum. Dominic magics away Patrick's body to his body larder. And then they prepare for phase 2. Phase 2, Amelia goes to the frat house where Sergius and Jasher live. She gets them to come outside by making them believe that she's taking them to a Halloween party where they're going to get a fucker some more. Hey, you remember how you raped me?
I was gonna say, remember that
want to come to a party? Fuck.
Yeah.
These guys are idiots.
They are total idiots, but unsurprised.
Completely unsurprised. They're total idiots. So then anyway, Dominic uses his magic to whoosh them all back to the mansion and put them in room 1. She's going to put them through the tests.
Okay.
So they wake up in that room. She's like, "Good morning, boys. It's time to have some fun." And the walls start closing in. Sergius and Jasher are fucking cowards. Go figure. So they're basically begging for their lives and blaming each other for this. Like, please don't kill me. It was all his idea.
I didn't even want to do it.
I didn't even want to rape you. I just fucking. It wasn't. We never should have done that. Yeah. Now you're gonna die.
Yeah.
You never should have done that, and now you're gonna die. Congratulations. So Sergius gets Jasher to hoist him up so that he can get into the vent, but then he leaves him behind. Because fuck him, I guess. And Jasher gets crushed in the trash compactor.
Oh no.
Oh no. Sergius goes to the second room, the room with the water and the fan. She turns on those elements. He immediately starts freezing and just collapses on the ground. Like they're not gonna get very far. So she's like, you know what? Just magic me down there. I'll take care of this. Mm-hmm. They go down there. She attacks him. She's just like a screaming, raging angel of doom at this point. But just before she can get the killing blow in, Sergius gets one good punch and punches her in the jaw. That pisses Dominic off. He grabs the hand that dared punch his queen and rips his arm off. Yeah. And they watch him bleed out on the floor.
Oh
no.
See,
you should have beat him with his own arm, right? That's what you're saying? Yeah, you should have beat him with his own arm?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay, good.
Because I've been around you long enough that you've invaded my mind. Should have beat him with his own arm. Then they have sex on top of his corpse again. They have more sex on top of a different corpse. This time, they declare that they are each other's forever. They never use the L word in this entire book, so we won't be exchanging any lesbians here.
No lesbians.
No lesbians. That evening, after getting cleaned up, much to Amelia's disappointment, every time she's like, "Oh, but I wanted to stay covered in blood and cum." But you can't do that forever. And every time he's like, "Don't worry. You will be again soon.
I can't take you through the Taco Bell drive-thru looking like that.
Oh, man. Duh, would you like a post-murder spree cheesy crunch wrap? That sounds good.
I would destroy Mexican pizza after a murder spree. You kidding me?
Absolutely.
The best.
Oh, man. I wish they still had the quesarito. I would have the best post-murder orgasm quesarito.
PMOC.
Post-murder orgasm quesarito? PMOC. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got it. After they get all cleaned up, she has something to eat. He tells her that she is now magically preserved. She's never going to get any older, and she's never going to die. She won't have magic powers, but she's immortal now. She's functionally immortal.
I am going to have to keep coming inside you, though.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, no. The hardship.
Right.
The absolute hardship.
Not that.
Yeah. She then says that she is going to initiate phase 3. Phase 3 is to take out Father Trubiano.
Okay.
But she wants to go and do that by herself. And he's like, okay, cool, that's fine, but call me if you need me. Like, just like call upon the magic in your blood. I'll come find you.
Beat me.
Yep, beat me. In Father Trubiano's office, she argues with him. He hides behind his desk to just like keep distance between her and him. He calls her
smart.
He calls her a Satanist. He calls her a devil whore. He calls her like, just think about like a horrible thing that a priest could call you. Yeah. He calls her that, and she banters back that the only thing she worships is monster dick. Fuck yeah. This goes on a little too long until eventually she's like, come on, just let me saw your dick off so I can go home. Fuck yes.
I have shit to do.
I have shit to do that doesn't involve being here. She goes to attack him, but he stabs her with a hypodermic needle, like very suddenly, and she passes out before she has a chance to contact Dominic. She wakes up. She is handcuffed, both hands and feet, to the radiator. She's gagged. Her mouth is taped shut. Father Trubiano is the worst fucking person on this entire planet. He goes on this horrible, unhinged religious rant. He gets out a bunch of like creepy tools. He lashes her with this like blade-tipped flail, and then I don't even want to say it. Then he rapes her again, but he does it with a crucifix.
Oh.
So fucking awful. It's awful. Then he rants about how he's going to send her soul to hell, but he's going to bring the penance of the Lord upon the earth by spreading his seed in her womb, and then he rapes her officially. Oh, God, I hate talking about this. Anyway, but she's too traumatized and in shock to call on Dominic for a while, until eventually she comes back to herself. She calls on him. Quick point of view change. Dominic is sitting in his office waiting for her to contact him and thinking about how much he misses her. He's just like, oh, but my sweet angel of doom. I miss her and I need her. He gets her magical page and flies off to the campus, where he finds her eventually with Father Trubiano. He almost kills the father immediately, but she's like, no, I have plans. So he releases her, and as Father Trubiano is like screaming about a demon, it's so terrifying, he sends him back to the mansion, to the ritual circle, so that she can do the ritual on him and feed the father to her demon husband. So they go up to the ritual room in the mansion. She lists the father's many sins for him. He argues that he is God's instrument to bring righteousness to the earth, and she's like, no, you're just another fucking rapist. You just happen to have a religious kink. Fuck you.
You wear those silly clothes.
Yeah. She carves the runes into his flesh while he is still conscious.
Good.
When he starts to pass out, she has Dominic give him just enough blood to keep him going. Then when she is finally done, she has one last little monologue where she tells the father that she didn't realize it until much later, but she realizes now that he branded her back in 2015, and that the scar that she has on her back is a brand. She cuts the brand off of her body and shoves it in his mouth.
No.
It's so fucking gross.
Don't like that.
So gross. And then she goes to Dominic and she says that, hey, he was talking about trying to impregnate me. I really don't want that. So can you make it go away? He channels the hellfire through his fingers, sticks them up there, and performs an ablation of her uterus. And this is the thing that upsets the father the most.
Well, yeah.
He's like he's covered in demonic runes and he's bleeding out in the middle of a ritualistic circle. But no, not my rape baby. What the fuck?
Not an unborn child.
God damn. He's like so upset. He's so upset and she sucks down a bunch of Domic's blood so that she can handle the fact that she just had a completely unmedicated ablation. Yeah. What the fuck? And steps back into the circle, stomps on him, and says, "My body, my choice, motherfucker." You know what? Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. At first I was like, that's forced. No, it's fucking not. No. It's perfect. It's perfect and beautiful.
That is a chef's kiss, no notes.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And then she does the chants in Latin, and she cuts his throat so deeply that she damn near severs his head. Her vengeance is complete, and she feels better. And she's not afraid anymore.
Good.
Because she has completed her murder spree. Domic then eats the father's corpse, and they have more incredibly bloody sex. This time with double penetration, cock in penis. No, cock in pussy, tail in ass. That's what I was trying to say there. He's also choking her with his tongue, but like from the outside. He like wraps his tongue around her neck.
Cock in pussy, tail in ass, as God intended.
As God intended.
With your tongue wrapped around her throat.
Yes. This is like exclamations of ownership and devotion and forever until they are all spent and once again covered in blood and cum. They are bound together, heart and soul, for all time. At the end of this scene, they have some pillow talk where she's like, "Why me?" And he's like, "Because it's you. You were always meant to be mine." And she declares that she is his final girl. She is the final girl. I love that. So that's the end of the book. There is an epilogue. There's always an epilogue. Sometime later, undetermined amount of time, on the San Domingo campus, Amelia rescues a girl who's being chased by 4 frat boys. She convinces them to come with her instead to have an orgy behind the chapel. And they're like, yeah, this seems like a thing that would happen to me. But she wants a few seconds head start because she wants them to chase her. She gets to the chapel. Domic is there waiting. They wait. They fool around while they wait for their prey to arrive. And when their prey arrives, they do their bloody business. And then they go home to have more bloody sex, I assume.
Yeah.
He is the one and only demon of retribution and death, and she is his final girl. And they all lived violently, hornily ever after.
Wow.
The end. R.E. Johnson, you have rewritten my brain chemistry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because this book is chock full of things that Katie does not like. And yet.
I'm out here like, this book was incredible. It was really, really good. I don't even know how to tell you, like... you're looking at me like I need to call my therapist to make an emergency appointment. But it's a lot. I get that it's a lot.
Extremely.
It's not for everyone. And I probably overshared because I think we're way over time.
Oh, I mean, this episode ran long, but we talked a lot. It's fine.
We did. But it's a lot. It's not for everybody. But for those that it is for, it's... Ugh. So good.
Yeah, no, this is, I'm sitting over here going, I'm going to record something to put at the beginning of this episode. The show notes are not going to be enough.
No, they're really not.
So you've already heard that if you're still here, because that's a lot.
It is. It's a lot.
And as
we've
said,
so good.
As we said many, many times before, it's a lot, but if a lot's what you're into, fucking this is the book for you.
Hell yeah. Fucking go with my blessing, dude.
I'm into shit that I know a lot of people aren't into. That's great. You keep your mouth shut about it. I'll keep my mouth shut about this. Would I read this? No. I do not like graphic
green eggs and ham.
No, I don't. But graphic depictions of sexual violence and that sort of thing. Not a fan. Which I know you're not either.
No, I am not. I'm really not.
But apparently Ari handled it extremely well.
Yes. I mean, it was disturbing and awful and horrifying. And then there was bloody, brilliant, beautiful revenge. And
that I liked.
And I guess I'm here for that part.
Yeah, all of that other stuff, totally down with. The other stuff I was not into, but what are you into?
Me? What am I into?
What
okay,
are you
so
into
this week I am into a movie. So last night, remember I told you that I watched that movie? I watched this movie called Totally Killer, and it was great. It's like, okay, so it's like if Hot Tub Time Machine and Happy Death Day had a birthday or had a baby.
Okay.
So it's this like irreverent comedy slasher movie with time travel elements, and it stars Kiernan Shipka, and like the mom from Modern Family, and
you said Randall Park was in it.
Randall Park, yes, is in
Whom
a
I
couple
love.
of scenes. He's great. Julie Bowen is the name of that woman. Lachlan Monroe.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah. He plays her dad.
Oh, he was so good in Peacemaker.
Yeah, he's super good. There's all sorts of just like fantastic, interesting actors who have some of them don't have a lot of screen time, but what they have, they just chew it up, and it's fantastic. And it's so funny. Like, this movie was hilarious in ways that were like almost a little like whackity schmackity, but they like towed that line so perfectly.
Yeah.
It was a great way to round out my bloody reading, was to watch this irreverent slasher comedy. It was great. Totally killer. She goes back in time to 1987. So that's really funny. There's this whole sequence in there.
Sorry, I was trying to burp.
Okay.
That's why I had that weird face. I was like,
is he telling me to stop talking?
No,
I was
trying to line up my esophagus to like make easier passage for the gas.
So she goes back to 1987 to try and stop this slasher from slashing, and she's trying to like find the victims, and she needs their class schedule. So she goes into the office and she's like, "Hi, I'm so and so's friend from blah blah blah, and I need this because of that." And like she's trying to make up like an excuse, and the secretary's just like, "Here, take it and leave. You don't need. There's no security. It's 1987. There's no security in this school. I will tell you whatever you want to know. Do you want to see somebody's personal files? Just shut up. Ask." It was so funny. It was so great. Anyway, yes. There you go. That's what I'm into.
Excellent.
What are you into, my love?
I thought of something earlier today while I was driving through Indiana, and then I forgot it.
Was it cows?
It wasn't cows. I didn't see a lot of cows. And then I was going to say the World Series, because the World Series has started by the time you hear this. But no, I'm into Shoresy.
Oh, God, yes.
Season 2 of Shoresy, by the time you hear this, will have been out for a couple of days now. Shoresy is a spin-off television series from the amazing Canadian comedy Letterkenny. And it's so unusual because when they first announced that they were spinning off a show based on one of the most annoying characters in Letterkenny.
Oh, God.
We were completely disinterested.
Yeah.
But then we saw a trailer and we were like, oh, okay. I would say that Shoresy, as much as we love Letterkenny, Shoresy rocketed.
Oh, man.
Rocketed.
Shoresy's like my comfort show. I love it.
Yeah.
And that's hard because there's only 6 episodes of it right now.
Right now, yeah.
And you can only watch those 6 episodes so many times.
But it is, if you like quick wit, excellent wordplay, hockey.
Incredibly hot women.
Hot women, hot dudes.
Hot dudes, yeah.
Just hot people being funny. It's so, you don't have to know anything about hockey to truly appreciate it. It's so fucking good. I can't say enough about it. It's on Hulu. The second season premiered on October 27th. The first season came out a couple years ago. A bunch of seasons of Letterkenny if you're into that sort of thing. So that's what I'm into. And we are running a little bit long here. So do you have anything else that you would like to say?
I would like to say that Ari Johnson asked me to tell you that if you liked this book or you liked my description of this book, she has another series that you may enjoy another book that you may enjoy called Shadowed Summer Sun, which is a Southern Gothic folklore witchy monster romance. So
there you go.
Perhaps check that one out. That's all I've got for you. Let's end this one.
You can find us on social media. We are on Instagram and TikTok at Cheap Smut. If you would like to send us an email, please do so, cheapsmutpod@gmail.com. I'm not sure how it's going to work with this book because it hasn't been released yet, and I normally put the link in the link tree, but I will get it there eventually. If you want to get this book, I will put a link at the top of our link tree, which is always in our show notes. The song that you hear in this and every episode is called Nostalgia by Mackay Beats. You can find it along with thousands of other songs free of charge for you to use at the Free Music Archive, freemusicarchive.org. Have we selected a book for next week?
Yes, we have. Next week, we are reading Frostbitten, a steamy Jack Frost reimagining by Violet Taylor to ring in November.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What whiplash.
I know, right? I know.
Take us home.
Listener, if there is a book in you, write it. And if there's fucking in it, no matter how violent, I'll read it.
And then she will come on this show and explain it to me for your entertainment.
Now, I have to go, and I think Carl needs a real big hug after this story.
Huge hug.
So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.